What is going on YouTube? In today's episode of Rad Dad Life, we're going to be going over my 2016 Harley Davison Iron 883. Alright? Just let me fall to my grave. Just let me fall to my Welcome back. So my 2016 Iron 883, it does have an issue when I bought it, 10,000 miles on it. It was completely stock, so I have upgraded a pretty good amount. Here's a photo right now of how it looks like. You'll see that it's completely bone stock. I have all the stock OEM stuff that I might keep in a little corner. For the most part, I threw a lot of that stuff away because I don't ever intend on going back because I really like the setup that I've gone with now. So we'll get a brief overview, then we'll get a close-up look. So I did get, of course, the Davison Iron short shots. They were out of the black ones, the black covering, so I had to go with chrome. Not my favorite, but for the time being, that's what I'll wear, or that's what I'll have. I probably just will exhaust wrap them with that exhaust wrap just because I like the look of it. I like that copper / titanium look. Not the black, I like the titanium look. I had that on my old bike. I went with the DK Customs air intake. I went with a jokester, just a gear cover. It looks cool, it's nice and open. Also a joker suspension, a little bit shorter, so I can ride this. I'm 5'5", and I ride this thing super comfortable. I actually may have overdone it a little bit. I have the original stock OEM suspension back there, but for what I ride, it's fine. I mean, on pretty big bumps, or speed bumps, I do bottom out the suspension, and it does hit the bottom of my bike. So it did lower it about 1.5 inches. I do have a sissy bar, just a small little one here. I don't really like the look as much as I thought I would. Initially, I had a much higher one on my old iron. So I think I'm going to go back to a nice tall one, maybe like the 16, 20-inch one. I've seen some really nice custom ones on Etsy. Some guy does, I think it's Edward something. I'll link it in the description, but he does really custom ones, so it might be kind of cool to have my logo on the back of it welded in. Super cool. As far as that, I went with the Bitwell bar and grips. The guy did put an aftermarket clutch and brake. That's fine with me. They work fine. He said that he just wanted it to, not because he needed it to. Just an aftermarket. I can't remember the brand name of the mirrors. Just a smaller circle. I can work with it really well. I did do an engine tuck, so I didn't do a tank lift like I did in that other bike, just because this is already a 3-gallon capacity tank. The more you rise it, the less capacity it has. So I like the look of the tank lift. I like the look of the clean look. So obviously I got that nice wire tuck in, so it has that clean look without having to rise the tank. I might still do it just like a 1-inch rise, just a little bit more. But I also did the speedometer relocation, so I got the jokester grip in the front. It's a DK Custom speedometer relocation with the ignition switch also relocated. So it's nice and clean. I went with some aftermarket just pedals, just because they're so much more comfortable. The ones that come stock are really small. And I mean, I'm not that big, but this is super comfortable. I also went with these nice, I don't know why I went with the brass knuckles. I thought it was tough.
You want me to show you tough? I'll show you tough. Hey! 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 Hey!
But now that I have them, they're kind of silly, but I do like the surface area on these, and it is super comfortable. So being that I'm 5'5", it's not it definitely is a good bike for shorter people. 5'5", I mean, with the drop suspension, I'm super comfortable the way I am right here. I can go a little bit more. I mean, the seat is already lower, I think, than the stock seat. It's a Joker seat as well. It's super comfortable. I can flat foot this thing. I think anyone on this bike, especially with probably the suspension being dropped another inch, you could probably be like I'd say 5'1", even 5 foot, and ride this super comfortable. My wife is 5'2", and she can ride this comfortable. It is a little bit of it's not a heavy bike, but it's just something to get used to. But when I have my leg up in my natural position here, I sit right there and it's super comfortable. My knees are bent. Move my gloves so they don't get burnt. My knees are bent. a little bit like almost 90 degrees, which is super comfortable. Not too, it's honestly, it's pretty comfortable riding in this position, but to have the option to stretch my legs out and just hit like that, a little bend in my leg. Honestly, this is why I didn't go with the 1200, the 48. 2 reasons. I didn't like the smaller tank size. I love the look of it, but I'm not willing to compromise on that 1 less gallon. And secondly, this is comfortable for me. I don't know how I felt about shifting and having all my gears, my shifter, my brake forward mounted. Yeah, it's comfortable like this for rides, but I'm a little nervous. I like everything to be underneath me. I guess it's more an aggressive riding stance. Also just, I don't feel as stretched out, so if I need to, I'm comfortable here. I can hit, I can brake. Here I would be afraid if I have to extend a little bit. What if I can't push down hard enough on the brake lever? What if I can't get that gear just right? So that's why I didn't go with the forward mounting. That's why I didn't want to go with the 48. So this is how it looks here. This is how it looks riding it in normal stance. I set up high, super comfortable. Suit up a little bit, and I'm super comfortable here too. This is just a great experience. Yeah, I don't have any windshield, so I get a lot of wind in my chest, but it's not bad. I do have the Davison Iron tuner, and I have a quad lock here. So when I put the phone on there, you can go to the data setting on the Davison Iron. I'll put it on the screen now how it looks at the demo mode, and it tells you everything. So I have my gear ratio on there, my miles per gallon. It's just a lot easier than the speedometer, because the speedometer you got to flip through. It's not the most easy to look at because it's a small little digital gauge. Now that I mounted it over here, it's definitely not easy to look through. So when I have my phone there, super bright screen, it's nice and white. It tells you what gear ratio you're in, your RPMs. Just makes it super easy. Very, very worth the investment. And I think it's actually necessary to have that tuner when you go up with the stage 1, which I do feel, I did feel the increase in horsepower and torque. It's not much, but on my old Iron 83, I went straight headers and I did not upgrade the intake. And for sure, I can tell the difference between that bike with an upgraded intake and an upgraded actual exhaust. I definitely tell the difference. This is a little bit torquier. It is super fun to ride. I did remove the front fender because I like the bobber look to it. My wife, I still don't know if she's gonna ride on this bike or not. If she doesn't intend to ride on it, I most likely will chop the rear end. And there's a guy called Nicky Boys Toys on Instagram. I'll link it in the description. He has this super, super rad Sportster. It's like a dirt bike / Sportster. It looks super rad. It has crazy tires in the front and back. He has upgraded suspension. I think it's the Olin suspension. It just looks awesome. Like, I would love to have that look.
This, I'ma have all you motherfuckers lay in the ditch. I'ma kill all you rappers, I'ma able to sit. They was rocking with your ass.
I'm pretty sure that I'll do the tank rise then. I'll probably get a little bit of a mud guard or a small fender. I have the fender still. I might chop it a little bit just to have, if it's gonna be on the dirt, just to have that. So let me show you guys what this looks like. So I do have passenger pegs just because I wanted to see how they looked. These are the ones that I had lying around for my old bike. I did Mickey Mouse them. They're definitely not gonna come off. They're Loctite in, but it doesn't have the original spring, so it doesn't stay up. That's fine, I don't really mind. That doesn't bother me none. I also went with the Joker aftermarket LED brake lights. Much smaller, probably not the best in brightness, but I like the look. They're a little bit smaller, a little bit cleaner looking. The guy did take off the little black flaps that go on the suspension, the dust covers, I think that's what they're called. I would have left them on just so I can have the all black fork, but he had removed them, so I don't know. It's kind of a hassle to do such a small price. You know, it's only like 15, 20 bucks to buy dust covers, but it requires you to lift the bike up on the jack, remove the suspension and tire. That's just a lot of work, so I'm not willing to do that. So a little bit of chrome here and there actually look pretty good. I did do the Nicky Boy Toys technique here. I did put bandanas, just zip tied. I put an LED strip here for my turn signals. They look a lot brighter, super neat and nice. Much better than the original bullet bulbs that go right here. And for 2016, I really do love the Harley Davison logo that they went with. On my 2014, it was all blacked out. It was cool. It was all matted, so I mean, didn't have a crazy look to it, just all black. It was cool, but this has a little bit more flair to it. I really like the Harley Davison logo. There's a speedometer relocation with the ignition relocation. I also removed all the dust covers and oil covers and just put all black ones. Cleaner look. I also did remove the cover on here because I like the exposed look. Obviously, that's why I got the dust cover, the Joker gear cover with the holes in there because I think it looks pretty sweet. All right, so thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions about my Harley Davidson, I mean, I already explained why I went with the same exact Harley Davidson, just 2 years model newer. I would have actually went with the Iron 1200. It's the same bike, just obviously with 1200 it already comes with I believe smaller ape hangers and a small windshield. Yeah, windshield. And I think that's it with a 1200cc engine. I really wanted to go with that route, but I got a great deal on this bike, bone stock, compared to all the more pricier 1200s. I am looking into doing the, I believe it's called Hammer something. They do a conversion. It's like $12.50 is the best bang for your buck. It only costs about $800, $900 to install it, maybe another couple $100. I might look into doing it myself, but that will give me a significant increase in horsepower. It almost doubles the horsepower and torque, so that is more than enough power. Honestly, this is definitely enough power for me, but that would just be maybe just an option to have. Wouldn't be bad. Last thing I get asked a lot, would I recommend this as a beginner bike? Absolutely. I am probably not a beginner rider anymore, more intermediate. I'm not gonna say expert, I'm gonna say intermediate beginner a little bit. I did ride, you know, for 3 years. I got up to like 30,000 miles on my original bike, and I just got back into riding. I feel comfortable again, just like I did before. It didn't take much time at all to get comfortable with the bike again. I mean, I could say, yeah, it's a little bit on the slower side now that I'm obviously warmed up to the bike again, even with the increased torque with all this. But I'm okay with it. Honestly, I just love the feeling of riding, the freedom that you get, the wind blowing at you, the connection you have with your motorcycle. It's just, if you don't ride, it's hard to explain the feeling. But for those who ride, you know the feeling I'm talking about. And yeah, a little more horsepower could be a little bit more fun, but I really don't ride the bike for speed. That's obviously I wouldn't get a crotch rocket if I wanted that, because those things are crazy fast. I get this because I love the look of these things. They look phenomenal. They've been the same design for like over decades and decades. They have the same design, so there's tons of aftermarket parts. This is like the Glock handgun of motorcycles. There is so much aftermarket parts that you can buy this to build it any which way you want. I love that you can build this as a long travel bike, or a long distance bike, sorry, or you can build it, bobber it out, remove anything that's not necessary. You can just do so much to this bike, and because of that, I love that. This is the look that I really love. I might change it up a little bit, like I said. The guy maybe calls it like a dirtster, like a motorcycle slash bobber slash, you know, dirt bike. It's pretty freaking sweet. So I might switch over to that, but to do that, it's not going to change much of the look of it is now. If you guys have any questions at all, just leave them in the comments. I do reply to them all. I do read them all. And as always, have a rad day.